Historical Beauty, Makeup History, Historical Review 1. Egyptian Civilization. Around 3000 BC, a unified nation prospered in the Nile Basin, and the king had great power as a child of God. Giza Pyramid Complex. Around 2500 BC in the desert of Giza, the tombs of the 4th dynasty pharaohs were built for Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. Karnak Temple, Kings Valley, Luxor Temple. Hatshepsut Temple. Hatshepsut means the most noble woman, with her coronation name of Matkara, meaning truth and the soul of Ra God. Her reign was moderate, she did not like war, and Egypt prospered through peaceful diplomacy. However, at the same time, it will lead to Egypt's decline, but it is thought that this led to Totome's military achievements. She also reportedly dressed as a man and had a beard on her chin while in public. Tai is said to be from a commoner family in the kingdom of Mitanni, not an Egyptian, so although she could not be the queen of the pharaoh, she seems to have been cherished by Amenhotep III and was treated differently from other consorts. Edfu Temple. Nefertiti is famous for her beautiful, mysterious, unfinished busts and is considered one of the ancient Egyptian beauties. She was Tutankhamun's mother-in-law. Temple of Abu Simbel. The builder was Ramses II, the king of the 19th dynasty of the New Kingdom. The great temple has the sun god Ra as the god, and the small temple has the goddess Hathor as god. The 4 statues of the great temple are of Ramses II, and in front are the statues of his family. Cleopatra VII, Philopator. Cleopatra VII is known as the beauty of the world, and she is said to use charming speech that does not distract people, and had a beautiful voice like a little bird. The only portrait of Cleopatra's profile is that which is found on the coins used during her reign. Mesopotamian Civilization. The Sumerian civilization is considered the oldest in the civilized world. It is also known as the roots of Japan. The world's oldest city-state in the Tigris-Euphrates River Basin, which includes Babylonia, Assyria, and the Persian Empire. Babylon, Ishtar Gate. King Hammurabi carried out hydraulic work and enacted a code. The region, including Mesopotamia and Egypt, is the center of the Orient civilization. Achaemenid Persia. Around 519 BC, Persepolis was the capital of the Achaemenid Persian Empire, which ruled a vast territory from the Mediterranean coast to India. Tomyris. Around 530 BC, Tomyris was the queen of the Masagetai tribe, who had power on the eastern coast of the Caspian Sea in Central Asia. Queen Tomyris is also the queen who leads the strongest warrior in history. The Hittite Empire occupies most of Anatolia, as well as the area including northern Levant and one part of upper Mesopotamia. Invented iron weapons and light tanks that can be pulled by war horses, expanding their power. In its heyday, it became one of the three great powers of the ancient Near East, along with Egypt and Babylonia. In around 1600 BC, it drove the kingdom of Babylonia to ruin. Indus Valley Civilization. Around 2500 BC, a planned city is created in the basins of the Indus River in India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, and the coveted Harkla River basin that runs parallel to it. Mohenjo-daro, also known as Death Hill, is one of the largest urban ruins of the Indus Valley Civilization, estimated at 1.6 square kilometers. The roads crossed at right angles and were subdivided like a grid. Water resources engineering for water supply, sewage drainage systems, private bathrooms, public baths, and reservoirs were advancing. Eventually, Aryans invaded from Central Asia, enslaved indigenous people, and created countries with a strict social division, also known as the caste system. The Indus Valley Civilization is attributed to the Dravidians and looked different from the Aryans, generally with dark skin, and short with long limbs, wavy hair, and a deeply carved and exotic face. They inherited the blood of the peoples of the Middle East, Europe, and Asia. Chinese civilization. In the Yellow River and Yangtze River basin, the Han Chinese were a Neolithic civilization that was farming from early on. Around 1600 BC, a country named Ying began in the Yellow River area. Bronzeware, turtle shells with oracle bone scripts, and cow bones have been excavated from the ruins. The oracle bone script is the origin of the current kanji. The Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China was built by King Shi Huang in 214 BC and eventually extended up to 8,851 kilometers. To the west, it passed from Ming County, Gansu Province, to northern Ming County, Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, from northern Hebei Province to northern Liaoning Province, and its eastern end extended to the Korean Peninsula. Yan Guifei. Yan Guifei was the empress of the Tang dynasty of China. She was a beautiful woman in the territory, and she is said to have been one of the three beauties of the world. By the standards at the time, she was actually a plump woman, and she was also brilliant and very talented in music and dance. Andean civilizations. A civilization that existed in the central Andean plateau that connects to the current South American continent, the Pacific coast zone centered on Peru and Bolivia. Unlike the four major civilizations of the world, it was a society and civilization that did not have letters. Nazca culture. A basin-like plateau surrounded by the Nazca and Ingenio rivers in Peru. Pictures of geometric animals and plants drawn on the surface of the earth. Inca Empire. The Inca Empire was established in the 13th century by the Quechua people, mainly in Peru, Bolivia around Lake Titicaca, and Ecuador in South America. It was destroyed by the Spaniards in 1533. Machu Picchu ruins. The ruins of the 15th century Inca Empire found at the foot of the Andes. It is located on a mountain ridge along the Urubamba Valley in Peru at an elevation of 2,430 meters. In the deserted Andean coast, intentionally processed mummies were made 7,000 years earlier than in Egypt, recognizing the world of humans, nature, death, and gods. A very high level of medical technique has been confirmed in the area, and a high level of civilization was built. It is probable that a child of about 10 years of age was buried or killed by ingesting psychotropic food and drinks for more than a year in a sacrificial ritual. However, the mummy is very well preserved and has a peaceful look. Mesoamerican civilization. Various advanced civilizations from the Panuco River in Mexico to the Sinaloa River and the mouth of the Motagua River in Honduras and the Gulf of Nicoya in Costa Rica. The Olmec civilization is located on the Gulf of Mexico from 1250 BC to around 080. Pre-Hispanic city of Teotihuacan, Pyramid of the Sun, Maya civilization, southeastern Mexico, Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala. Chichen Itza ruins, Tolteca civilization, the Temple of Quetzalcoatl, Mexican Plateau, 7th to 12th centuries, Aztec Empire, Mexico Central Plateau, early 15th century. The Aztec civilization continued to develop on its own without the influence or interference of the outside world. However, at the end of the 15th century, Columbus from Spain suddenly invaded. Nubian Kingdom. Queen's Country, a Nubian nation that existed from around Aswan in southern Egypt to Sudan, which was ruled by many queens. Nubian Dynasty, Ethiopian Empire, Kush Kingdom, Meroe Kingdom. It is also famous as the oldest black kingdom in Africa. Meroe Pyramid, Jebel Balkan ruins in Apata, southern Sudan. Late 4th century BC, Queen Arakamani of the Kingdom of Meroe, a Minotaur, a princess who was feared by her enemies and loved by the people. Vedic period, 1500 BC to 500 BC. In Indian history, the era when the Brahmin and Hindu scripture, Vedas, meaning knowledge, were created. It is roughly divided into two periods, the early Vedic period, from 1500 BC to 1000 BC, and the late Vedic period, from 1000 BC to 500 BC. That's all for this time. Next time, we will review the Greek and Roman civilizations. Historical beauties will appear one after another.